So here's an introduction to personality type and what are the tools that are actually being used and what are resources. Just a disclaimer, I'm not claiming that I'm an expert in this. Everything that I'm about to share with you are just my own lesson points, learning journey from my own research and also going through some of the courses that I've paid for. So my intention of doing this series is to give you my perspective, sharing my own stories and experiences from coaching people and also things that I have gone through that has related to this particular topic that I think is going to be useful to some of you out there that are trying to discover yourself, trying to boost your self-confidence, and of course, trying to build better relationships with people. So the first source is definitely going to be Carl Jung. And for those of you who are unaware of this man, I'm just deeply in awe of his work. And I really did not know to the extent that he's done, the contribution that he has given to us today is not just about psychology itself. Basically, Carl Jung is a Swiss psychiatrist, psychotherapist, and psychologist, and pioneering evolutionary theories who founded the School of Analytical Psychology. And he also has books like Memories, Dreams, Reflection. So his influence is really in the field of psychiatry, anthropology, archaeology, literature, philosophy, psychology, religious studies. I think he was a student of Freud. Did I get it right? Please don't butcher me in the comment section. Like I said, although I'm deeply passionate about his work. Yeah, so to really understand MBTI or personality, you have to start with the man who inspired it, which is Carl Jung. So there's a book called The Psychological Types, and this is a must-read resource for understanding the deeper philosophical side of personality. In my previous video, I mentioned again that MBTI is Myers-Briggs. So it was Isabel Briggs Myers-Briggs and her mother, Catherine Cook. Both of them, they created a framework for people to take the assessment, use it as a tool, as a framework for many of the wonderful things that we have today. It is used for leadership development, it is used for team building, it is used for self-development. So I think they have done a great job in terms of trying to make it easy to digest for majority of the people. But for those of you who do not have the patience to read through lengthy reports and really try to understand how the works behind personality types, then you'll be missing out on a big chunk on how this actually influences the way we think. So there are a couple of quotes from Carl Jung that inspired me quite a fair bit. I think one of the ones that is memorable, where your fear is, there your task is. So it's literally saying that whatever that you fear, you have to embrace it, approach it. I think he's also trying to suggest that we have our shadow, our unconscious side, that we avoid conflict, discomfort, things that we don't want to deal with, things that we fear. Even more than we should embrace it, because this is where growth and enlightenment comes from. So I've always been into this whole concept, and so ever since learning about, I think that is when I started digging through YouTube and trying to understand psychology as a whole. And then I stumbled upon C.S. Joseph YouTube channel. I must say that the first few times when I watched C.S. Chase video, I don't know him personally, although I have gone through coaching session with him. But so that's a whole another story, right? So it's more about the kind of contents that he put out, when it's very admirable because he didn't have the best video quality or the audio quality. A lot of his older videos, which is like super insightful, I literally binge watch all of it, majority of it, repeated times, because it's not that easy to digest, to be honest, if you don't read all the books that he reads. At least this is my assumption. And because he's very fast in his thinking, because back then I wasn't really aware of all the cognitive attitudes, the function, all the works behind the makeup of a personality. Therefore, I had to revise it a few times, but I was glad to go through that whole journey. I was telling myself, all those videos are bloody like 40 minutes, 1 hour long, and he's ranting most of the time. I actually went through all of it. Don't ask me how I did it, but I did majority of it. It's interesting because at the same time, I was also learning about MBTI officially, taking the certification, and very blessed to meet Mr. Robin Robbins. He took me through the certification and he is like a mentor, but we don't really see each other, but I asked him a lot of questions and he asked me a lot of challenging questions as well. And I think hearing from different perspectives, it's grown this deep, passionate beast in me that psychology is really something that I'm super fascinated with. And C.S. Joseph is definitely someone that you guys should go and check out. He has done quite a lot of things now. He's an ENTP, doing different things is not unusual. And his video introduced me to a lot more credible resources such as Dr. John Beebe, and then there's one more lady, I forgot the name, very bad with names. And that's when I got to know what the MBTI test that you take is only 25% of your mind. You mean there's 3 other types within me that I don't know? Yeah, it kind of explained then, why is it that sometimes when you are being triggered or you are in the grip, you are not at your best moment, you don't behave like your usual MBTI type. What are the different facets to one? And so then all of this just sparked an idea inside of me together with my team in Starlified. We are a fashion community. So I came from a fashion background. I've been a designer, image consultant, blah, blah, blah. It's always been fashion, right? And then after getting to know psychology, I'm like, I think this is like the depth for me, because fashion at one point of time, it is superficial. I'm trying to bring depth to fashion. I know that what you wear, it's very psychological. It's way more than what it is. It is meaning, symbolism. So I was like, oh my, I think I can combine both fashion and psychology or this personality. That's why I created that course on Udemy, which is about using MBTI insights, or rather, all the 16 personality types, their cognitive function and how it affects the way they approach fashion. How would they stereotypically look like, and their personal style. That's what I did. And I had no choice but to do a lot of research, not just specifically to personality type, but also the psychological effects of dressing, the whole social impact of it. So you need to go through studies and surveys about, if let's say you wear a lot of glasses, what kind of cues are you sending out? If you wear more bright colors versus dark colors. So it was all about like things that we see, how does it affect how we behave, and how does it affect people's perception of us. So basically, I really thank all the resources from C.S. Joseph. Although his membership can be quite expensive, I must say that ever since he started introducing octagram, yes, you have 4 sides of the mind, understanding that when you take the assessment, that is your ego type, because I am a planner. I prefer to plan because it's you answering those personality assessment tool or quiz, whatever you want to call it. It is who you think you are, therefore that is your ego, right? But then in the framework of 4 sides of the mind, it teaches you that, okay, if it's your ego self, you have all your cognitive function. How does this create your subconscious, your shadow, and your superego? So your 3 other types. So I got super fascinated, and then yeah, that's where I'm at today. And I must say that he has changed the way I look at things, not just understanding personality, of course. There are a lot of more self-development things that you have to take care of, like your awareness, having the right mindset, manifestation. It's a lot more than that, but having a framework, it guides you and helps you to understand people a lot better. People are not the easiest subject to study. Medication, it's just we are constantly trying to discover. And I think a lot of brilliant scientists are starting to find out like how your emotions is linked in your brain and things like that. Anyways, people are not my favorite thing, but it is also my favorite thing, if you know what I mean. It's like this love and hate duality relationship. So if you're not a fan of reading books, I'm going to list it down below, all the books that are suggested when it comes to understanding personality. There are other popular personality assessment tools out there. DISC. I'm a fan of Big Five, been studying it quite a bit. I wanted to have a different perspective and not just be known as knowing MBTI. Yes, there's a ton of it, but MBTI continues to be the most popular, to the point that even now, the younger generation, they just literally tells you what their MBTI type is. I wish that when I was at the age, I knew what my type was. At least I'd have some pathway and understanding, oh, why I'm like this, I shouldn't do this, and things like that. So anyways, yeah, I think for those of you who are still very skeptical about personality, just know that it's in you. And if you try to like tell yourself, this kind of shit, it's like there's no science to prove it, there's no truth to it. Actually, truth are just opinion. It's just depending on how you do the research and what kind of opinion you can form. It's your truth, my truth, everybody's truth. So I think at the end of the day, if you watch my video up to this far, I think you are actually interested in personality. So I think this video is just to explain like where I get my resources. Not just online courses that I went through coaching session, I have a certification in MBTI. I'm able to provide one-to-one coaching session and help you to debrief the official MBTI assessment that you take, whether it's on, I think it's online. It is administered online. I don't think we do the physical one anymore. Although in the class, Mr. Robin did show us the physical version many years ago that they created, like an envelope. I was really amazed with it. But I don't have it physically with me. It is for those people who have no access online. They can also do the assessment too, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah, anyways, guys, in the next video, I'm going to be sharing a bit more about how MBTI works, and then also sharing with you what I learned about the 4 sides of the mind, give you some key takeaways on what you can do in terms of helping you to have more self-awareness, self-development, and of course, I'll be doing videos about cognitive functions as well. If you guys have any other suggestions, ideas that you want me to talk about, just let me know. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.